Hello, it's Pam here again with Tattered Paper and Lace, and I have another journal to show you. I'm calling this one The Lady's Diary. It is, the cover and everything is handmade. I used Nick the Booksmith's tutorial on how to make a cover like this. It is made with upholstery fabric. And it has about 1.5 inches spine. It is about 7 1/4 or 7 1/2 maybe by, so I'm sorry, 7 1/2 this way by 5 this way. I don't know what I was looking at. About 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inch spine. I have my handmade metal label on the back, and this is covered in upholstery fabric with this little frame, and this is a portrait from a famous portrait of some prince or queen or somebody from a book that I have of those old famous portraits. It has about 136 pages, and it has five signatures. So let's go inside and see what we have. Opening up, it's scrapbook paper on the inside, and this is a seed packet from My Porch Prints Crafts. I believe that's what it is, but it's My Porch Prints. And then I just made this little tag for This Book Belongs To, with a little sewn on ribbon at the top. And then I have a guest check as a flip out, and this has been collaged with some buttons and lace and a Tim Holtz paper doll and Tim Holtz little piece of ephemera there. And this is attached to a wildflower book page to identify wildflowers with. This is a pocket that is from that same portrait book of the famous portraits, and I've made this into a pocket. And they're kind of glossy pages, so it will reflect the light a little. And then I have these digital images that I don't remember where these came from, but I've used a bit of crocheted doily to make a tab there. And then I've used various kinds of paper throughout. This is from a guest book where you sign in. This is a copy of a metal folding mirror that is meant to put in your purse. And I just thought it was so cute that I made a copy of the back of it so I could put it here with a little bit of ephemera there. And this is a tag I have made with a die cut. I've used a little bit of a lace applique here, and this was a little triangle shape. I have several of those that I've attached a button with some rickrack. Little lace here, just some seam binding there, and that would just be a journaling spot that tucks right in there. Coffee dyed paper. This is a floating pocket made from a very old music sheet, so I've used washi tape around it to give it some stability. On the back side, I have decoupaged this image, which was printed on my computer on napkin tissue paper. And you just print on your tissue paper, and then you decoupage it just like you would napkin. Love, 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 love how those come out. And then I've just used this little bit of ephemera for the pocket on the front. And this little extra blue distressing here is actually a paper towel that I used to mop up some watercoloring things that I was doing, and so I just tore it up and used it as part of this. This has 3 cards in it. 2 are journaling cards, and this is a postcard from 1948, and that is tucked in this pocket. And then I just have it attached with a Tim Holtz tiny little bulldog clip. This is a page from one of the groups that I'm a part of that I've just added some pink lace to the edge. This person made this and shared it with the group, so whoever you were, or whoever you are, I appreciate it. Some more coffee dyed paper. This is just a butterfly image here with a postcard printable from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. And on this side, I have a little tuck spot, and this is just a piece of scrapbooking paper ephemera, and another guest check that is napkin decoupaged. This is a lot of writing space because it is mainly meant to be a writing journal. Then I have this little pocket with this little tag in it that has a charm on the end, so it's kind of like a little double tag, and this is a flip up here. And this ribbon is put on with a little gold safety pin, and this just tucks in here, which will hold this tuck spot or this flip up shut when it's not in use. Wildflower Page. This is the front side, the front cover of an old, I'm thinking it's probably early 1900s penmanship book. Didn't have a date on it, but just by looking at the artwork on the cover and the back cover, it appears like it might be in the early 1900s, maybe in the 1920s. And so I've used the cover here, and it has the penmanship paper inside. This is a piece of coffee dyed paper that has been transferred. This lace pattern has been transferred on here from a lace tablecloth. And then I have a little bit of little edging of lace along that edge there, and the lace is this wide, but it is so very fine that it just kind of blends in with the page. And this is a copy of 1908 Sears and Roebuck book catalog. Not a copy, it's a reproduction. It's an actual page from that reproduction, but it is a reproduction of a 1908 Sears and Roebuck catalog with the lockets and bracelets and things in it. And then this is just a little tuck spot with a piece of ephemera. This is another image from the famous portraits book, and I've made this into a tuck spot, and this is just a little envelope that has a little note in it that says historical notes. Historical note. So that goes in there and tucks right in here. This is vintage stationery paper. That's from the guest book that I have made flip outs there in the center of that signature. This is a digital of a Victorian calling card, and inside is tucked a digital of a dictionary page with some artwork on both sides, and I don't remember where that came from, but that's just a digital that I have had for years on my computer. And then here, this little pocket here is made with scrapbooking paper, and it has this card in it. This is more of the 1908 Sears Roebuck catalog. More of that coffee dyed lace transfer paper. And this is the other side of that penmanship book. It was a wide book. It was about this wide if you opened up the page. So I folded it in half and could use it as a shorter page in this book. Here I have, this is an autograph book page that covered the years from the late 1920s to the early 1940s. So this side of this was autographed December the 25th, 1929, and this side was autographed March 24th, 1940. So that's this side, and then the other side, the other page you'll see a little later. Here's another pocket. This is scrapbooking paper with another image of these sort of Victorian-looking ladies. Oh, and these are backed with dollhouse wallpaper. And I think I like that because the scale of the pattern is a lot smaller than you would find in scrapbooking paper or anywhere else, really. Some more guest book, and this had wording on it that didn't fit, so I just did a quote on top of that. Here I have a pocket with 3 little pieces of ephemera. This is a bookmark, sort of, made from, this piece is from a wallpaper border, collaged onto book page that is then applied to a craft paper card and stitched around. And this is a piece of tatting that I used as the little tab here. And then this is a little piece of ephemera, and this is actual hydrangea blossoms from my yard that I decoupaged onto this piece of card, stitched around it, and it works great. And the decoupaging works. I actually used Liquitex matte medium to decoupage that on, and it's very sturdy, so it's not going to go anywhere. So made a little stamp looking piece of ephemera there. And this is a letter. That is not a real letter, it's a faux letter from 1893. And I put it on coffee dyed paper, and then I crumbled it up and smoothed out, crumbled, smooth, so that it is very soft and old feeling. And that is tucked right in there. And then we'll just tuck that right in there. This is actually from a vintage cookbook, and this is a sheet cake, but I thought it was so cool with these icing flowers on it, and was so photographed so nicely and just so neat. I thought it'd make a nice little piece of ephemera to put in here. And this is more of the 1908 Sears Roebuck catalog, and this is laces and doilies. And then another pocket here, and in the back there is this card from the National Park Seminary for the year 1920-1921. It looks like it's a receipt for $8, which was, I don't know, an entrance fee, maybe. Some writing on the back. And this is real ephemera, and that is tucked right in there. And then this is a real Victorian calling card that is tucked right there. This is another piece of that triangle applique that I had, which I used to make this look sort of like a vase, or like the tissue paper you would find wrapped around the flowers that you buy at the store. And this is fussy cut from an embroidered piece of trim that's 6 inches tall. So I just fussy cut out the pieces, and then this is another piece of vintage trim that are just these little rows of daisies. And so I made that look sort of like a flower arrangement. This trim that's 6 inches tall has a scalloped edge, which is also embroidered, and you can find that in a bundle in my Etsy shop at Tatteredpaperandlace. And then we just have some guest book pages. This is a belly band made with scrapbooking paper, and this is a collaged card, journaling card, using a graphic 45 image on a doily with some stamping and music paper tissue. What do we call that? Washi tape. Oh, me, right there. That tucks in there. And this is a copy of a collaged card that I did. Here's the other side of that autograph book, and this is from September 23rd, 1936. And this side is from December 26th, 1929. This is the back side of that penmanship book. So this is the back cover. The other one was the front cover. And so that's there. This is transfer with plastic doily. Some more of the 1908 Sears Roebuck catalog. And this is silver patterns. This is just from another book, and more of the vintage stationery. Here I've made a pocket with tracing paper, and this is Napkin Decoupage, and inside is a check from 1887, December 31st, 1887. And I like the paper it's on. It's sort of a tracing paper kind of paper, but they've got the signature on the back. And I just folded that because I didn't want it to stick out the top, because I didn't want it to tear. So that's on very vintage music sheet. And this is another image from the famous Portraits book that I fussy cut. And here is another piece to write on. Here's another area where this was the writing, that was on the page was not appropriate for the book, so I just covered it and put another piece, another image from the Victorian famous portraits. Here I have another pocket with scrapbooking paper, and inside is a journaling card that I made from Antiques magazine. I have about six different copies of the Antiques magazine from the 1930s, and it has these ads in it that are bordered in this black. So the ads are all black and kind of a creamy color paper, and I just cut those out and decoupage napkin on them and make them into a journaling card, and that tucks right in here. And then this is a little teacup with another digital postcard from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. So I printed these, from the kit, and then I used my postcard stamp to make it be a postcard on the back. And that's tucked into this little teacup. And then here I have another pocket made out of a vellum envelope with a Tim Holtz adornment there. And then this is another postcard from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. And then this is just another piece of ephemera that I had in my stash. And those tuck right in there. This is another little cameo image from the famous Portraits book that I just put in on this page. And then here is another 1908, the other side of the 1908 Sears Roebuck catalog, more plastic doily transfer. The other side of the back of the penmanship book, Wildflower Page, another pocket that is made with tracing paper and napkin decoupage on top of that. And in here I have another Antiques magazine ad with a napkin decoupage on top. That is made into a journaling card. So there's lots of places to write, stick notes, put pictures, keep tickets, just whatever suits your fancy. That's a real Southern way of saying do whatever you want. Another tuck pocket here. And this is cut from a greeting card. It is embossed, as you can tell on the back. So I just took the ink dauber, just my regular ink dauber with vintage photo, and just rubbed it over without adding extra ink to the pad, just what happened to be on there. And that tucks in there. Excuse me. Then on this side, this is flowers from my yard that I pressed and dried, and then used my Liquitex matte medium to apply to this page. Very sturdy, not going to go anywhere. Great way to add some decor to a page. And I like this because it sort of looks like someone pressed their flowers in the book. So that's here, and I really am pleased with how that turned out. This is Ephemera's Vintage Garden. And then this is another image from the internet that is printed on tissue paper. This is not napkin tissue. This is gift wrapping tissue, and I just decoupaged it on like you would a napkin. This is also printed on tracing paper, I believe, or it might be the gift wrapping paper, but it's a doily that I printed out. And then this is a real piece of doily, vintage piece of doily there. This is part of where I fussy cut the embroidered piece. This is what it looks like at the bottom, and this is shorter than it is because it's at least 6 inches. A vintage ticking pattern, and these are two Tim Holtz images, I believe. So there's lots of room to write, keep notes, put your tickets, receipts, whatever you'd like. This was just writing on this page, so I just collaged some sheets that you could write on, did a little stitching, and this is on the Wildflower page, Wildflower book page. And then the back of the book has this music sheet, which is very old, that I've made this into a little belly band with this image, and this is a digital, I don't remember where it came from, but it has a little ribbon on it too that has also been stitched, and that tucks in there. And then we are at the end of this little journal. So this will be in my Etsy shop, so go take a look and look at the other things that are in my Etsy shop. I have lace bundle, and I have the embroidered trim bundle. The Halloween journal is still available, and this will also be in my Etsy shop. So I appreciate you looking. I will leave the links below. I appreciate you watching. I hope you will subscribe and hit the bell so you'll get notifications when I post another video. And I will see you the next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.